Hi. Oh,
Hi,
there it is.
everyone.
Yeah. So, hello, I'm Zombie Grub, and this is
Alaris.
Alaris. I learned her real name, so cool beans. Yeah, I was just casting on Base Trade TV earlier, and I came down here, and they were like, "We should cast," and I was like, "Fine." And she's been wanting to cast, so she found
Just
like
for
opportunity.
fun. We'll see. We'll see. No promises. I play Zerg, and our next matchup is a TVP, so I
Yeah.
don't know how much insight I can offer, but I'll give it a shot.
I'm sure you do fine. The TVP is actually going to be between Illusion and CNProtoss, and I guess this is pretty good for like I'm not the oldest DC nerd around here. I mean, that's like maybe Bob. I'm not even sure. But I've been in the scene for a while, and Illusion used to be a really big contender, the DC lands. Kind of fell in love with StarCraft and whatever, but he came back because, like, why not? He still has some old pro gamer mechanics, and it's cool to be like casting him, I suppose. I never actually got to cast at one of these things. It was always Nan Man, Rip Nan Man.
That's
Magic the
really
Gathering
awesome.
2016.
Yeah, this is my first time at Atlanta, and it's really, really cool meeting all these guys and getting to talk about the game, which is something that I never get to do because all my friends hate StarCraft, so...
What a bummer.
Yeah, they all think it's a really stressful game. I don't know what they're
Well,
talking about.
I mean, they're probably
I
right.
have no idea
but
what they're talking about.
That's when you tell them to, like, buck up and get over it and just get good to the game.
Yeah, I mean, that's why they play LoL, right?
Yeah, actually,
Yeah.
it's true. Talking about Hearthstone, and she was like, that's why we play, like, the bad games, and I was like, yes. What's up? I know, like, half the people watching are probably playing like Hearthstone on their monitor, and they're like, yeah, stupid Hearthstone. Click. Because what everyone does.
I mean, that's what you do on your break, but why would you play that seriously?
Good
Right?
point. We're just gonna like be basically bullshitting for a little while here, as I think they're still setting up the game. This is the losers bracket, I believe. The winner of this will face, or go on to the grand finals to face Ruff, a name that most people are familiar with.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys saw earlier, but he did some really, really sick Banshee plays. I was sweating for the Zerg player that was playing against him. I can't recall which one it was. I was at lunch at the time. So, yeah.
I'm not sure. I was casting, so I wasn't really paying attention.
But yeah, he does a lot of air Terran. That's kind of what he's known for. And I definitely get very nervous just watching his games because I think about me in that position. Even though I'm not that good, I still definitely get intimidated.
Yeah, Ruff is a very odd player. He actually streams quite a bit, so if you're into that type of odd play, then definitely check him out on Twitch. The place that we're at, if you guys are anywhere near DC, so basically we always say like DC, but this is actually in Virginia. If you're from the DC, Maryland, Virginia area, then you get that, but anyone maybe living in Pennsylvania or like North Carolina, like this place is actually really baller. The last couple of DC lands, and by last I mean for the last like 5 years, 4 years, something like that, have been this tiny place called Monster PC, which, you know, is dear to my heart, but is not exactly the best place in the world. The cave is actually pretty baller. Like, there's actually obviously a studio, so this kind of feels like a little bit reminiscent of Home Story Cup, which is pretty cool, just sitting on a couch being casual.
Right.
There's like a studio light in my face right now. We actually have a production person to the left of me, which is really cool. She just waved her hands. There's actually places to play Smash. Like Smash, I think they have... was this Melee up, I guess?
Yeah. I'm assuming it's either Melee or Project M because my roommate, he's super into Project M, and there's a tournament every week in New York that he goes to,
Oh, wow.
and that's like the big one. That's the one that everybody competes with and does tournaments for. So I would assume it's that one.
Cool. As well as, I think they also have like a Wii and an Xbox here too. So you can like, of course you have to pay to use the computer. It's like a LAN center, but it's like really legit.
Yeah, it's super cool, and it's right across from a college, I think.
Yeah,
and
George Mason, I think.
Yeah, so it's really cool because if we had this where I went to college, like I probably would be here all the time.
Where'd you go to college?
I went to Parsons in New York.
Oh, I don't know what that is.
Yeah. It's okay. It's a designer school.
Really?
Yeah, you pretty much just pay for a brand name the same way you do for Harvard or Yale. You get the same education pretty much everywhere. It's just a matter of how fast you want that interview.
Wow.
Yeah.
I went to the Arts too. That's around here, so I can kind of feel that.
Awesome.
Yep. So is that like fashion design or?
That is like their main thing. That's what I did. But I'm more product design oriented. Like when I went to school, I did a lot of toy design. I did comic books. I did like package design. I did all sorts of stuff. So I really love that.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, like, you know, you're the like most dapper looking one between the two of us, like whatever. But that's cool. It's I guess is that kind of going along with graphic design then?
Yeah, I do a lot of graphic design work. I love doing like designing websites, stuff like that.
Oh, nice.
So I never really fell into fashion the same way other people did.
I like, as like an artist, I suppose I've always like wanted to draw my characters to look cool, but then I just like Google search like fashionable lady and then just take the picture like.
I was always doing character design stuff. I have a background in illustration.
Oh, nice.
So people were always like, "Oh, do you want to be a designer?" And I'm like, "No, that's so stupid. Why would I want to do that? I'd love to design characters for video games and movies and you know, stuff like that." So, yeah.
I wanted to be a storyboarder most of all.
Oh, that'd be so cool.
Yeah.
It's very tedious work. Super tedious.
Again, we're just like BSing while we get the game set up, so just like hold on. But this is interesting.
All right, we're actually going to go into the
nice.
game.
We're ready. Okay, I BS long enough. Awesome. So I think we're going to get in transition here. There we are. So you can see Illusion versus CNProtoss, who, believe it or not, is actually a Protoss. There's actually a guy, I think, in Europe whose name is Protoss, but he's a Zerg.
Oh, interesting.
It's a little deceiving, actually.
Interesting. There's a lot of them.
Yeah, damn. I used to have a Zergling portrait, and before these guys popped up on Legacy of the Void, people would always assume that I was Zerg, and I was actually a Terran, and I would get a lot of free wins off of that.
That was always really, like, misleading for me, because I look at people's portraits more than I do their race, and all the time they'll be Zerg, and then they'll have some kind of different portrait, and then I have to go, wait a second, what race are they again?
Yeah.
And I always have to check.
Well, we're in game. It's on Orbital Shipyard in the bottom left as the Orange Terran. He's a pretty old face in the DC community and, well, in StarCraft in general, but he's back for this specific tournament. It's Illusion.
And on the top, we have CNProtoss. He's a member of Psistorms, and I definitely know his boys are rooting for him to win.
Yeah.
So let's see who's going to come out on top.
Yeah, this is, I mean, we're at the cave, which is awesome, but let's not forget this actually all being put together by Psistorm Gaming, which is really awesome. For those of you who don't know, because I think the name by now is pretty identifiable by most StarCraft fans, but if you don't know, they're actually also based in the DMV area. That's not Department of Motor Vehicles, that is DC, Maryland, Virginia. But they put it all together. They got a nice prize pool for this too. I mean, that's honestly most of the reason why Illusion came back. He was like, $1,000? I wonder if my pro gaming skills will actually come back to me in time to win this.
Yeah, I think that's what's motivating a lot of people to come out, because they're also offering smaller prize pools for divisions like Bronze Silver, Gold Platinum, Diamond Masters. So anyone who got the furthest in those divisions, they also get a small prize. I think it's somewhere around $50.
Yeah.
But it's definitely something that motivated me to come out and just try my luck.
Yeah, that's really nice. I mean, honestly, after so much casting of like just professionals, it feels nice to go back to DC land where there are actually, especially like again now with the smaller prize pool, there's whole prize pools for the lower leagues. It's really awesome to see. I think there's even a prize pool for Archon mode matches, which is pretty cool. We already have the Protoss doing something a little bit Protoss-y. Probably a proxy Stargate. There it goes down. We're using the WCS interface. That's why I'm not used to it. I'm like, where's the production tab?
Yeah, I was looking at so.
Game Heart best overlay, right, guys?
This is such a bad map for Zerg, but for TVP, I know it's definitely very favored. I watch a lot of GM Terran players, and it seems like this is the map that they always play on.
It's such a standard map, you know, like Terrans love the ability for Reapers to jump up and down, and that's actually a recent complaint, I suppose, that David Kim brought up in his balance updates about the maps. They actually considered reducing the ability of the Reapers to jump up on this map specifically. They're going to get rid of some of the terrain issues, but I don't know, like, it's not really a complaint in TVP. Mothership pretty much takes care of the Reaper fine. TVZ, it can be a little bit annoying, but I don't know about that. We finally have the Oracle on the way. It's about halfway done, and I don't think Illusion really has any idea what's happening. He does have a 1/1/1 basically coming out right here, but I don't think he got a Widow Mine or anything like that, so he's not really going to be set up for this. He will have enough Marines, I think. Actually, there's only 4, so not quite, especially if they take on this Adept. They do need 6 to take on an Oracle, or the Cyclone needs to be out. And the Cyclone is on the way, but that Oracle, I believe, is hitting the natural right now, so totally not ready, and that is a lot of damage already. And he's going to go to the main. Yep, free pickings.
Oh, man. Those SCVs, they had families. What are they going to do now?
Well, their family's still alive. They just aren't.
Oh, that's true.
So the Cyclone's out, and they'll no longer... You won't be able to take damage from one Oracle anymore, but believe it or not, as Protoss as it is to do a proxy Stargate, you can go a little bit more Protoss. You can go up to 2 or 3 Oracles, actually, and take on a Cyclone, believe it or not, because Cyclones are kind of flimsy. But with the Marines also protecting it, that's not really going to be the case. I think that Illusion, yeah, he's going to pick up those Marines. The Cyclone should cover him, as long as there are any more Oracles, and there's not. A Widow Mine is also on the way, so that's going to take care of Oracle, Warp Prism, anything back at home. He's pretty safe too now. Not to see what the drop can do. Unfortunately, they're going to be stimless Marines, so they're not going to be able to do that much damage in a short period of time.
I think he'll be fine, though, because CNProtoss doesn't really have too much. He has those 2 Stalkers, which isn't really going to take down that medevac. But
not too quickly, no.
Yeah, he's definitely going to scout this drop coming.
That does suck for Illusion, and honestly, even if the Oracle did not scout it, the Oracle plus the Blink Stalkers plus the Mothership Core just got out would have taken care of the Marines.
Oh, absolutely.
It's a little bit bold of a choice for the Marines to take on the front army. Usually this is more about harassing and killing the probes, but actually it can be very intelligent to try and take on the army as well. Gonna bother taking out the Observer. That is questionable right now because he is on a low worker count, and every single meal is going to be pretty important. But it does, I mean, now hopefully more drops in the future won't be scouted thanks to that one Observer dying. Finds the Stargates. This is nice. I mean, it's still a slow proxy, but it is still a proxy, so you want to be able to take care of this. The Blink upgrade is on the way, so it's going to be Blink, actually armor, not attack, with those Immortals. So the Adepts did get a recent nerf. The Mothership Core also got a nerf/buff, basically a change, so its attack's a little bit stronger.
But it costs more.
Yeah, exactly. It costs more, so you can't share the love on all of the pylons as you used to be able to. But the Adept was a lot more important in this matchup because it now 3 shots a worker instead of 2 shots a worker. Now, there's not really any Adept shenanigans going on right now, but we did see a couple of Adepts warped in defensively because they are still decent against Marines. But Marines actually do decent against them now, too. And Illusion's once again going to go for that frontal attack.
Yeah, I'm wondering how he's going to do drops this game because I see the pylon placement, and it's pretty much ready to intercept anything that comes around the edges.
Yeah.
So I think he's going to have to find another way in, and I'm very curious to see how he's going to do that.
So Illusion, like I said, he's only come back basically for this tournament, so his mechanics are pretty good. I think in the past he said that his micro hurts over time more than his macro does, but either way, much more importantly, it's Legacy of the Void, not Heart of the Swarm. A very different game for many different reasons. And I will get on to more of that in a minute, see how the attack goes. Cyclone, of course, is going to get maybe a free Adept, not quite. This is a very dangerous push. It's combat shielded, it's stimless. He's got to take the fights, but I don't think it's going to be a very good fight.
No, I don't think this is a very good engagement at all. And, oh, those Marines didn't make it out. Oh.
Yeah. So the reason that I bring up the difference of games is that Illusion is pretty much playing like Heart of the Swarm, but actually TVP has changed dramatically. The pacing of TVP has changed. The game as a whole, its pacing has changed thanks to the increased worker start and the lower mineral count as well. Colossus are no longer a main staple to this matchup, as well as just not that style of play of Protoss to just be on 2 bases for a long time, get to a decent army, and then maybe get a 3rd base if you're lucky. It doesn't really happen anymore. Like, you are almost guaranteed a 3rd base as a Protoss, and you want to have a 3rd base to get that very increased production on gateway units, which was not usually its thing. Usually Protoss' thing was robo units. As you saw there, Illusion's drop is picked off, and that does reduce his ability to pull the Protoss apart, something that he really needs to do because he's fallen behind.
I know that that Terran can scan and everything. I don't know how much they scout without scanning, but I'm just wondering how he's going to deal with the army that CNProtoss is pumping out.
Yeah,
because
I mean,
he has all these bio units, but.
Yeah, it's pretty standard TVP practice to go for just bio, but it's actually fairly important to know, I guess, how quickly they're going to be going into maybe Tempest. Like, if you're planning on going for Liberators, you do want to scout if they're going to have the availability. Oh, actually, nice wood of mine. If they're going to have the availability to actually counter those Liberators, because the end game goal for Terran at this point is trying to get Liberators. The matchup kind of changes from thinking that Protoss is OP to thinking Terran is OP if you can get that high count of Liberators.
Liberators are OP, especially
yeah, okay.
ranged Liberators.
Says the Zerg, all right, whatever. But if the Protoss is already in a stable position and you didn't get away with a lot of greed yourself as the Terran, which Illusion definitely has not, then they can already pre-counter you, basically, either by a mass amount of Blink Stalkers, which, of course, Protoss is his name. Protoss did get, or by going for the double Stargates earlier than you would usually think is actually what CNProtoss is also doing.
Yeah, I really like the placement of that Overseer because he's definitely, or did I just say Overseer?
Yes, you did.
I'm an Observer.
Close
I'm
enough.
so sorry. Because he's definitely seeing everything coming his way, and he's not super prepared for it.
He did miss up the pickup right there. That was a little bit mismicroed. I was going to say not bad if he had gotten away with maybe 2 full medevacs full of units, but only with barely 1. Not so great. Trading out with Protoss is just, again, not...
Yeah, that was not a good trade out.
Yeah, first of all, it wasn't a good trade exactly, but even if it was, it's not exactly the same as it was in Heart of the Swarm, where trading with a Protoss, reducing their army meant a lot. In Legacy of the Void, Protoss is kind of matching your basic unit production with their own mass amount of gateways. We do have Adepts or Disruptors coming out, as well as that Fleet Beacon. CNProtoss is definitely anticipating the Liberator switch, but I'm not even sure Illusion knows about a Liberator switch. Like, I really don't know how up-to-date this guy is on the current strategies. Warp Prism got into the natural. The Warp Prism, that Widow Mine didn't get to the Warp Prism unless it got something else, so...
Oh, he's got DTs. Does he have a... I thought he had a turret. Oh, he doesn't have any D-Tech. Oh, that's gonna... That DT's gonna get a lot of work done.
Yeah, that does suck for...
I was so sure there was a turret in his back.
Yeah, I mean, that's a very common practice, so, like, I don't know if there was... But Orbital Shipyard especially has been so played out that you basically put a Widow Mine and a missile turret, and you know the Warp Prism is probably going to come that direction. Right. So I don't blame you for thinking that there was one. And maybe there was, but something took it out. The Warp Prism did live, though, so whatever it did didn't actually affect the Warp Prism at all. And that's just not a good feeling for Terran to know that Warp Prism is out and about, ready to come back in. Now, I will give credits again to Illusion. He, his macro is still pretty on point, and for as, kind of as bad as this game has gone, first he lost a ton of workers, he didn't get that greedy of a build off, he hasn't been trading so well, his stim was kind of late. He's matching supply pretty well. Now, I do know that there's some disruptors on the field. This one is very annoying.
Oh, they're not gonna
And there it is. Oh, that split was pretty damn good, though. But the second split is not. Oh, God.
We have to remember there's also a DT in his army that's also continuing to just do damage.
What the fuck was that? These guys did play each other before. I don't know if I mentioned that. And actually, Illusion ended up winning, I think. So I did forget to mention that. So even though Illusion has been a little off the game recently and how Protoss is, it seems like his micro and his macro is still carrying him through anything else. And his macro is actually still on par, although he did miss that disruptor shot. This Doom drop in the main base is pretty good.
He's definitely going to get that disruptor.
Oh, Jesus.
Absolutely.
Okay, good. He sniped it.
He's going to do some supply damage here. Oh, no. That... Okay. I was going to say that pylon only has a breath left. He just has to blow on it.
Nice targeting on those robos. I mean, the disruptor count is only at 2, and that's honestly not that many. 4 is a pretty good amount to consistently send the balls out and actually do a consistent damage, but he's also rallying off to the left. He's really trying to pull CNProtoss apart. Not doing a terrible job of it. He's on 4 bases. CNProtoss is on 5, but he can continue to afford to do attacks like this. I'm just really scared that, either High Templars are going to come out, start feedbacking those drops down, or the disruptors are actually going to get those good shots that they almost did Almost those perfect shots they almost did in the last fight. Oh, the Doom drop? No, just 2 drops. Observer did see that, I believe. High Templars would be such like easy pickings off these medevacs. They're pretty high energy.
Yeah, those 2 dropships are going to do a really good counter for this attack that's coming up here. So we're going to be pretty distracted. He's not gonna be able to split it.
Yeah, that goes with the natural. Though there were Blink Stalkers actually, so that was taken care of. Very, very nicely done. That is a dip in Illusion Army supply he really couldn't afford. Down by about 30-40, as opposed to 20-30. But CNProtoss isn't in too much of a hurry to push forward. He does have a good enough army too, that's for sure. Like, he should push forward. I think either CNProtoss likes Tempest in general, which is possible, or was anticipating that Liberator switch, and now he might have done that like, okay, you're not getting Liberators. Like, I think I can actually push into a defended area.
Yeah, I would definitely be feeling very confident right now if I was CNProtoss. I mean, he just held that really well back at home.
Yeah, the Temp is of course raining from behind, and it looks like Illusion is going to go down here in game number 1. That attack of the 4th base looks like it's going to be cleaned up. And that was Illusion's kind of his last hope here. Again, if there were like 6 Liberators, even with the Tempest, it's a little like questionable if CNProtoss really want to push in there. But with only Bio, it's kind of a no-brainer. I'm actually surprised that CNProtoss is as scared as he is.
I agree, especially with that 1 turret there. I mean, how much could that really do?
Yeah. A couple of Widowmines are actually going to... Okay, 1 Widowmine. Nope, not even 1 Widowmine. But he blinks on top of the Bio army. That's how confident he is. And that is going to be GG. Protoss takes the first game.
I think this is a best out of 3, or is it a best out of 5?
I think it's a best of 3. I think only the finals is a best of 5.
Oh, it's a best of 5.
Oh, because it's the losers final, I guess? Okay, that makes sense. So losers final best of 5, and then winners is best of... well, it's a... What do you call it? Extended? No. I actually forget what the actual term is. But basically, the winner, whoever goes on to face the winner, will have to defeat him twice to actually win. Whatever that one's called.
Yes, I saw that in the brackets, and I was like, oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. There aren't too many tournaments left over, like that, I mean to say like actual tournaments, like whoever wins is the winner and wins the grand prize pool. That doesn't double elimination anymore. That was MLG's shtick, basically.
Gotcha.
And now it's kind of relegated to qualifiers where more than one person actually wins, you know, gets qualified.
Okay.
So. It's interesting though. It's usually a really good system to put in for when tournament simply doesn't have, you know, a buttload of players. Mm-hmm. You know, DreamHack has like over 200, 300, something like that. So maybe don't do double elimination there, but certainly in a place like this, it does increase the chances of the better player moving through as well. No shenanigans or cananigans sometimes.
Yeah, I definitely feel like if I was one of those guys, I wouldn't be so stressed out and I wouldn't be so like nervous if I had that many chances.
Yeah. That's another thing Illusion really have on his side. I mean, being an ex-pro gamer means a couple of things. So it means that you have probably your base skill set is already higher than a lot of people who have recently gotten to Masters or even Grandmasters. Mm-hmm. But it also means that you're going to be a lot more calm. Either in a tournament structure, so like me casting Illusion doesn't mean squat to him, like who the hell is this chick, right? But to someone else, they might be like, oh my god, Base Street TV is casting or something like that. But also, desperate situations in game, they tend to be a lot more relaxed about. They've faced plenty of like down by 1, down by 2, down by 3 even in the series before and made comebacks.